What's the word? I'm here at it's a cafe called Ain't She Sweet, black-owned cafe. I'll give y'all a quick little look around. Check out the spot. And so, just here to do a little recap. Let y'all know how the trip went to Tanzania, Dar es Salaam. First and foremost, much love to everybody at Zimbo Golden Hotel, Chelsea Hotel. Gratitude for all y'all help, for the discounts, everything, man. The service was on point. Like always, in Tanzania, I had a great time, man, just like last year. There might be one of my favorite spots in Africa. It's either Tanzania or Ethiopia so far, but they neck and neck. You know what I'm saying? This trip I did much more tourist stuff than usual. That was mostly for y'all, just so you could get a good idea what it's like. Like I never did the Turtle Island tour, the Sea Turtles, the Stone Island tour, or no, the Stone Town tour, none of that. I did that really just for the channel, so I hope you appreciate it. The one thing I still didn't do is the safari, and a lot of people have been asking me why I even had the opportunity, because somebody offered to pay for me to go, and I still had to turn it down. But first of all, I know that the Maasai are having issues with their land being taken away. The government has been trying to claim their land for the past few years. They've been going back and forth so that they can set their native land that they've been migrating through for who knows how many generations, to assign that to, you know, the Mzungus for tourism, for the safaris, for the big game hunting. So the fact that they displacing the Maasai, and I'm cool with some Maasai. I shot pool with a few, hung out with some. Shout out to Maria and her family. So I don't like that. The fact that most of the profit from the safaris is going to the Wazungu. It does give some jobs to some locals, but most of the money, the majority, is not going to Tanzania. So I don't like that. The fact that it's a lot of Africans who never even seen a lion in their whole life. Been living on the continent since they was born and never saw a lion. Matter of fact, according to my studies, it's about 26 countries in Africa that don't even have lions. So that's a good 50% of Africa where you could live there your whole life and never see any of these animals. So it wasn't a proper representation of all of the Africans in their experience. And to keep it a buck, you know what I'm saying, the purpose of fam of this whole series is to break the stereotypes in Africa, and that's one of the main ones. Even when I ask my nieces and nephews what they think of Africa, they say animals, or they don't have water, a lot of ignorance. So I'm not really too quick to show that on the channel, man. Like, yeah, they do have animals there, yeah, it's poor people there, but it's the same in America. You know what I'm saying? If I was only to show you Skid Row or some of the homeless camps around the Expressway or at O'Hare right now, you would think the same thing, like, oh, it's terrible in America. Or if I only showed you our national parks so you could see mountain lions and all of that, and I never showed you the city, that's what you would think it was here. So I'm not gonna show you any of that, for the simple fact that you can see that anywhere. You can go to anybody's channel and check out the lions and the elephants and the giraffes and the safari and all of that, the villagers. So I'm not gonna show you that. Hold on one second, bro. My food ready. So the last thing I'm gonna say on the safaris is, like I said, that's not the purpose of fam, to show the same old stereotypes. That's the opposite of the purpose. And it ain't the purpose of me, because my purpose for going to Africa outside of the series and the videos is because I want to live there one day. That's my goal. So again, it don't really do me no good to go to the countries and only do tourist activities, because I don't plan on moving there as a tourist, you know what I'm saying? I've been in Chicago my whole life. I still never been to the Bean, never been to the top of the Sears Tower, because that's tourist stuff to me. So it don't make sense for me to do that if I want to actually live there and not just go as a visitor. The trip was excellent. I think the footage came out great. I'm steady improving as we go, but I am gonna work on the sound again because I already got a mic with a wind screen, like to stop the wind. But I don't like the quality. I tried it in Egypt and it just ain't to the standard that I want. So I think I'm gonna have to buy a lavalier and put one of those on. But again, we still gonna keep putting paint where it ain't and keep elevating and doing better. I guess I'll just give y'all the rating. That's enough of a recap. As far as the food in Tanzania, I'm gonna get a food an 8 out of 10. I only had one bad meal the whole trip. Now, the only reason I'm gonna give it an 8 instead of something higher is because my one issue is the lack of options. Like, again, I don't eat a whole lot of meat. And if you're a vegetarian, it's a bit of a struggle out there, you know what I'm saying? Now, they do have options, so I give it to them for that. It's just, it's only in certain areas and certain places. So, again, shout out to Chelsea. Thank God for y'all, because y'all was saving me. I could always go there and eat the dal, the samosa, the spring roll. They have some good vegetarian Indian food. Outside of the restaurant at Chelsea, it was slim pickings, man. Like, I would have to go kind of far to eat healthy like I want to. Usually in Masaki, and that's a good 20, maybe 30-minute drive with traffic, and it's gonna be kind of pricey, man, because that's the richer area. And you know, Mimi si tajiri, so I'm not trying to drive that far or spend that much every time I want to eat. Now, again, I started to give it a lower rating because of that, but to be honest, that's kind of the problem I face here in Chicago too. Like, we have a lot of vegan options, but most of them ain't where I am. They ain't on the south side. You gotta go all the way to Hyde Park or up north. That's where it's a lot of them. Alright, cool. Over here in the south side, it's slim pickings, man. Like, shout out to where I'm at right now, Ain't She Sweet Cafe. Shout out to Majani's. It's a couple spots. Eat to Live, the new spot on 67. So we got some. It's just, you gotta have a car, man, to get around, and you gotta have a little money. So I give it an 8 for that, but everything I had was still good. I survived off fish, a whole lot of samaki sana, and it was all fire except for that one meal. So y'all get an 8. Weather, I'm gonna give it a 9. I love the weather out there. Now, I always go in either January or February, so it ain't like too hot. It's usually around the 80s, no hotter than 90, and that's perfect for me. I know a lot of the Africans I meet be like, oh, I don't like the heat, I like the cold, but you don't know real cold, man. Come to Chicago in December, January, and we'll see how much you love the cold out there. So, but yeah, I love it, man. The weather is beautiful, not too hot. If you out in the sun for a long time, you gonna cook a little bit, but like I said, that's my speed. The people, I'm gonna give the people a 9.5, damn near 10, because Tanzania has some of the friendliest people I've met in Africa so far, man. Like, honestly, I haven't really met any bad people. Like, of course, you get a couple people trying to upcharge you, the usual, being a tourist. But even that, like, I think one of my taxi drivers might have overcharged me, and then when he saw me walking the street again, he just gave me a free ride. I didn't even ask him, he just insisted, like, nah, I got you, like, you don't have to pay, I got you. I've had 2 different people, when I asked for directions, leave their jobs just to take me where I had to go. And I mean, like, it wasn't close, like at least a mile or more away. And I'm saying, like, man, you sure, you know, don't you gotta go back to work? No, it's no problem, hakuna shida. And then even when I would try to offer money for them leaving work and taking their time, most of the time they won't even accept it. So it's just a lot of love. Even as far as the beggars, to be honest, they not very aggressive. Like in Ethiopia, the people are a little more aggressive. If they ask for money and you say, no, I don't have it, they'll follow you for like a block or 2, maybe 3. Egypt was the same way. We had a little kid follow us for a couple blocks. Tanzania, it ain't a lot of beggars on the street. First of all, most people working and hustling, but the few that you do see, they don't even speak half the time. At most, they might like just hold out their hand, but just in general, everybody got a real cool, calm, peaceful energy, man. And I guess it relates to one of their favorite phrases, pole pole, like gotta be patient, take things slow. So yeah, 9.5, I rock with the people. I love Tanzania. The prices, I'm gonna give it 8. Now the only reason they lost 2 points, one is for the visa, because that visa is one of the highest, it's $100. And the other one is for, damn, okay, my smoothie ready, I think. Hold on. Alright, my fault. So, like I said, the price, they only lose points for the visa being so high. And honestly, I can't even fault Dar es Salaam. It's more for Zanzibar, to keep it a buck. They losing a point because the policy in Zanzibar is whatever we charge the locals, the visitors have to pay double that. So you go to the hotels, even the ferry ride, everything is twice the price just because you don't have a Zanzibar Tanzanian ID. So I don't really like that, you know what I'm saying? Of course, like I said, you're gonna get overcharged for things being a visitor in general, but for you to flat out just be like, you gotta pay double just because you ain't from here, that's trash. So it's still a high rating of 8, but like I said, that's mostly because of Zanzibar. That's not Dar es Salaam, because most of the prices in Dar es Salaam was pretty fair, if not good. Especially if you stay away from Masaki, where all the money is. Next, we got the infrastructure. Infrastructure, I'm gonna give it an 8 too. I started to give it a 7.5, but when I thought about it, I can't really complain. Like, my main issues is the same thing I said about Egypt, the whole prepaid system. This was my little trap phone in Tanzania. Low key, I got the same phone in Ethiopia. I love these little cheap phones, they come in handy, man. But just having to reload it and go to the store to pay to get more minutes and more text it's annoying and unnecessary, man. They need a system where you can just pay for the month and then you don't have to pay again until next month. But it's all unlimited. That's how it needs to be. Somebody needs to go out there and start that company or that business model. Also, because of the brownouts, now, it was only one time we lost power while I was there. I was out on the balcony, chilling on the roof of the hotel, and I saw the whole neighborhood go black. But, you know, if you got a generator, it kicked right back on. The power at the hotel came back on immediately. And then I timed it. It took like 12 minutes before the rest of the neighborhood had their power back on. But I've heard that is a complaint that they have, so they do need to work on that. That's fire. And then the country roads, man, like the roads in the city in Dar es Salaam was very nice. I can't really remember too many bad ones. But when we left the city, actually in Zanzibar, because I didn't really leave the city in Dar es Salaam. But when I went like an hour out of the city to the country, rural areas, the roads was rough, man. There was a lot of potholes. But again, pretty much the same as here in America. Like, if you leave the cities in America and you go to the country, to the rural areas, a lot of that stuff ain't paved. There's still a lot of dirt roads and potholes. There's even potholes here in Chicago, man. As nice as some of our streets are, we got some raggedy streets too. So I can't really knock Tanzania for that, because it's pretty much the same. The highways, the main roads were all super smooth. The internet, that was great. At all of the hotels I stayed at, the internet was pretty consistent. The transportation is good. You got the option of, you know, buses, taxis, bodas, bajajis, so all that's convenient. And even the hospitals, because I've been to at least 2, maybe 3 different hospitals in Tanzania for that goofy test, and I'll talk about that in a minute too. And they was just super clean, efficient, you know. I don't know if it's the same situation throughout the whole country. My friend, my buddy in Zanzibar told me the hospital situation is different out on the island, but from what I saw, it seemed to be pretty decent. The last thing is the activities. I'm gonna give a 9 out of 10, man. There's plenty of things to do in Tanzania. There's plenty of beaches to go to. You could go to the tourist joints where they're gonna try to sell you everything, or you could go to the local ones where it's a lot more chill, like in Bessie Beach. Tourist ones like Cocoa Beach where it's nice, but they constantly, it's Wauzaji Sana, like it's a whole lot of hustlers out there. And they nice, they not gonna bother you, but it's kind of constant. And then the tourist activities, even though, like I said, I ain't with the safari personally, but you could go do the safari, you could take the ferry to Zanzibar, and they got their own little activities, Stone Town tour, swim with the turtles, you could go to Turtle Island. It's just a lot to do, man. And to keep it a buck, me personally, I felt safe everywhere, you know what I'm saying? Like, I felt just as safe in Masaki as I did in Kariako, in the market where my hotel was. Even though Kariako is very busy, it's a lot of people, a lot of activity, I ain't have any issues out there, man. I got a lot of warnings about pickpockets, but like I say, man, I ain't have an issue at all. So I would give it a 9, because whether you want to do the tourist stuff or you more like me and you want to actually like be amongst the people and the locals, you should be pretty safe and you know, have a good time, long as you move accordingly. You know, you ain't out here reckless. So to break it all down, the total score for Tanzania, I give it an 8.6 out of 10, man. Very good. One of my favorite countries I ever visited, and I'm gonna definitely be coming back soon. So before I go, gotta give a shout out to Tony Knowledges, my brother. We probably be doing some music soon, so look out for that. Also shout out to a brother Akendon, Junior Mike. I ain't get to see y'all, but I'm gonna catch y'all next trip. Shout out to my brother Naguib and his wife for showing me hospitality, welcoming me into y'all home, y'all beautiful, peaceful home. I appreciate that, man. Definitely got to kick it next time I come out there. And also, you was right too, Naguib. Everything you told me about the algorithms, you was on point. You know what you're talking about, bro. So much love, much appreciation. Shout out to Jay for showing me around on my first trip out there last year. Hopefully I'll get to kick it with you out there again one day. Shout out to Tav for plugging me, Trent and his lovely wife, Trent and Lisa, and everybody that I missed that I wanted to see. So Abraham, shout out to Isaac, my homie Amora Star, Furaha, my homie Lamar, shout out to Rashidi, Saki, Shubi, and then a very, very special shout out to Bahia, Maria, Frank and Zahura. And I probably forgot a couple people, it's a lot to name, but shout out to everybody. And my phone ringing, I gotta go. But again, I love the trip, had a great time, hope to come back soon. And real quick, shout out to Constance. Yeah, let me turn it around. This my homie from back in the day. I ain't even know she worked here. I just came in here to shoot the video, come to find out this where she getting her money, man. So shout out. Hey Constance. Hey Constance. Wave to the people right quick, man. Yeah, man. So I'm out of here. I gotta finish handling some other business. Check back in with y'all in Ethiopia, man. God willing. Peace. What did you say is the name of this place? This Forodhani. So Bahia introduced me to Forodhani. So you see, everybody is out eating, having a good time. Late at night, lots of restaurants. People still out here. It's after 10 o'clock. It's like 10:30. How late is it open? Do you know? No.
I know.
When do they close?
I don't know.
Say wata acha lini.
I don't know. Sijui.
So Zote usiku. Oh, that's nice. So she said all night they open. See, now you can see. Just hold it down. See me. Just hold it. Zoo. Everybody see. Just You don't have to show me.
Unaonekana.
I like it. I found some falafel. I've been looking for all day. A whole lot of shawarma. Had live music. They still playing right there. So yeah. Point the camera right there. Kool-Aid. They playing live music all night. They got the soccer game playing upstairs. The ocean is right here. I don't know if you can see the Bahari, but it's all boats and ferries and everything out here. It's cool, man. Lots of people out. I like it. It's very nice. It kind of reminds me of the Taste of Chicago. This is very nice. I will come back to this. I'll show y'all a couple of the restaurants on our way out. Seawall right there. There's a bunch of photographers out trying to get customers. Some of the restaurants. See the ocean this way. As you see, they still out here. Asante. They still out here chefing it up, right? And it's a lot of restaurants. Mostly shawarma though. A lot of shawarma sana, pizza, a little matunda. See all the people, man, it's still crowded. Nighttime. I was telling her we don't have something like this in Chicago that's open all night. We have restaurants open all night, but not like this though. Simu? Ndio.
Embusa.
Ndio. Trust me, I won't forget again. After before, I almost lost my phone earlier. I was panicking for about 30 seconds.